Good morning, sir. Hello. Good morning, sir. Hello. 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 Hello.
Good morning, everyone. Should I start?
Good morning, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. But the screen is not visible, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Am I audible?
Hello.
I think there is.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, but no screen is visible from my side.
Okay.
Only जो दो गोले हैं वो घूम रहे हैं.
Okay. So, but you are in our live room.
Yes, yes. Now it is visible.
Okay.
Okay, let me share this. Okay. So very good morning, everyone. So in the last session, we have just implemented neural network, simple dense neural network for MNIST data set. Now today we are going to design the image classification problem using CNN, convolution neural network, and using TensorFlow. So it's also very easy, just like previous sessions we have seen. It's not tough to design any you can say deep neural network architecture. Only we have to just add the number of layers which you want, and you can perform the operations. So now let's try to design one more network for the same problem. We have the same numerals, handwritten numerals of size 28 by 28, and then we are going to use number of layers. So let's try to decide first how many layers we are going to use. So you know how many the input layer will be the input image. Input image is of size 28 by 28, and it is a grayscale image, so channel will be one only. And then we are just going to apply first convolution operation, and in this convolution operation we are using the filter size 3 by 3. How many channels will be there in filters? One only. And how many filters we are using? We will use 16 filters. So the output will be of this function will be some size of the image, and number of the channels will be 16. Then we will apply max pooling operation. Then we can apply the max pooling operation. So in max pooling operation we will get some output over here. So let's take this is the output, and then we will just use next convolution operation, convolution 2. And then now we use the same filter size, and let's take number of filters. We just take 32. We can put the same convolution as well, so definitely padding we have to set to same. Then we will use again max pooling. We can use max pooling operation again, so that will be the output, some output. Then we will use max pooling. Then it will give us some output again. And then we can use again a convolution operation, convol 3. And this convol 3 will let's we take with 3 by 3 filter, and with 64 filters. Then it will give with the same convolution, it will give the same size. Then we again can use max pooling operation, and then we just flatten the data. That's mean we will use a fully connected layer. Then we can use again one more fully connected layer, one fully connected layer with the flattened data. Then fully connected layer with 128 features. Then finally we will use the output layer, and output layer will contain the number of classes. Here number of classes are 10, so here will be total 10 numbers of neurons will be there. So how many convolution we are going to use? We are going to use convolution 1, 2, 3, and then we are using correspondingly max pooling operation 1, 2, 3, and we are using two fully connected layer and one output layer. So thing is how we are going to define this model. Once we are able to define, all remains things are same. We can build the network, we can train the network, we can evaluate the network. So let's try to execute these particular configuration by using Google Colab. Google Colab. Okay, so first now let us write the tech, what we are going to do. So we are going to do the image classification using CNN. So this is my objective at this time. I am going to classify the image classification using CNN for the MNSIT dataset. Then the first step, you all know what we have to do. We have to import the libraries. Import the libraries. So we can import the libraries. Which libraries we required? We required import TensorFlow, STF. Then we have to require NumPy as NP. Then we have to run the Keras API from the TensorFlow. So from TensorFlow import Keras. Now I think the statements will be easy to learn for you. So these are the libraries which we can use. Uh, execute these statements. Okay, now next, what we have to do, we have to load the data set. The next step was the load the data set. Load the data set. So how we are going to load the data set, you all know. So we can directly load the data set from the Keras. So we have MNIST, just like previous session statements, Keras dot datasets dot MNIST. So this is the data set. Then we have to store this data set in the directory. So we can just take train underscore images, comma train underscore labels, and then comma. Then similarly, we will store the test data set, test underscore images, comma test underscore labels, and then we have to use MNSIT MNIST dot load underscore data. So this way we can load the data set. So now the data set is loaded. Next step is what we have to do. We have to now one important thing is how it is different. The CNN is different from the previous dense layer. And dense layer we have just use a flattened input. Flattened input means we have just converted a two image into a one column vector, and then we have applied it to our deep neural network. But here we work in a two-dimensional feature or three-dimensional feature. The input may be in terms of images only. Okay, but here we have to we have to also tell the machine that how many channels are there. So if it is a image, you can say color image, then it contains the channels. But here we are using a grayscale image, so channels are not defined. So here we have to define the channels. So how many channels are there? One channel. So we will reshape the image. We will write here we can say reshaping the data set to have a channel. So why it is important? Because we are going to we have to shape, because we have to know the number of channels, because when we are going to apply the filter, then filter should have the same number of channels as its previous layer. So we have to define the channels for input layer as well. So now we will define train underscore images is equals to train underscore images dot reshape. We can use reshape function, reshape. Then we can use train underscore images dot shape 0 and comma. Now we have to reshape it in 28 by 28. Why? We have to define the number of channels. Number of channels are 1. Number of channels are 1. So now we have defined, we have reshaped it. Then also we have to reshape the test images. So test, what we have changed here, we have just added one number of channels. One number of channels. So test underscore images will be equals to test underscore images dot reshape. Then we have to use test underscore images dot shape 0 dot comma 28 by 28 by 1. So now here what we have defined, we have defined the number of channels that is required for our CNN. So let's execute these statements. So now we have reshaped the images. Now what we have to do, we can check the dataset once so that there is no issues in our further code. So let's check the dataset. So dataset information. So which dataset information we require to check? We can print the training input size, print. Then we can use train underscore images dot shape. Okay, so this will print the train input shape. Then we can get the train length of the train labels. Print. It is required because when you are going to use your own data set, so no conflictions should be there. Yeah, so best practices whenever you load the data, just check whether all the parameters are correct or not. So length, then we can use train underscore labels. Okay, then next we can check the test images also. Print uh, test underscore images dot shape, and then we can also check its labels for the accuracy, for calculating the accuracy. So test underscore images, sorry, we have to, for the length, we have to find out the length of the labels. So length, we can use test underscore labels. Okay, so this is all about the dataset information. Let's execute these and recheck it. So we have 60,000 images. Each of, now you can see each of sizes 28 by 28 by 1. Now 1 is introduced over here. In the last session, we have seen we have got only 60,000 28 by 28 only. And now we are getting the training labels at 60,000 equals to the number of images. Similarly, you can see here the number of channels we have added 1 and 10,000 28 28. That's mean reshape has perfectly performed. Now next step, what we have to do, that is a pre-processing. So we just convert all the values in 0 and 1, so we can perform pre-processing. So what we have to do in the pre-processing? In pre-processing, we have to reshape train underscore images is equals to train underscore images divided by 255.0. And similarly for test images, we will normalize these two both data sets, images, then is equals to test underscore images divided by 255.0. So this is the pre-processing. Now once pre-processing is defined, now the main step comes, that is we have to define our model. So let's define the model. So we can easily define the model. You all know how we have to define the model. As we know, the number of classes are 10. So you can use number of classes as 10. Then we have to define the model. And model is equals to, how we are going to define. First, we have to make the keras dot sequential. Then we have to use now layers. Now we have to define the layers. From here we have to define the layers. So keras dot layers, then dot the first layer. First layer is First layer we have defined is convolution 2D layer. So we will write here now. Its name is CONV 2D. We will use CONV 2D. Okay, that is a convolution 2D layer. Then in convolution 2D, what we have to define? First, we have to define the filters. How many filters we are going to use? 16 filters, comma. Then the kernel size, filter size. Filter size we are going to take 3 by 3. So we will write only 3 only. So in the TensorFlow 1, actually we have to write the many parameters. Now they have just simplified these things. Okay. Then we can use the stride size. We can define the new stride size. We can define the padding. So let's define the padding. Padding is equals to, we have to take just like same padding. So we can write same over here. And then we can define the activation and so on. There are different types of values are there. So you can use different parameters as per your requirement. So we have defined this ReLU. Now one important, the first step is, in the first layer we have to define what will be the input. Either you define the input layer separately, or if you are using first convolution, if you are defining the first convolution layer, then you have to define what will the input to this layer. So here we will define the input shape. So input underscore shape will be here. What input shape is we are going to use? We are going to use 28 by 28 by 1. So now this is the input shape which we have defined. Okay. So this is only done in the first convolution layer. So here we are using 16 filters of convolution 2D. Each filter is of size 3 by 3. Number of channels will be equals to here. This is the number of channels there. Here the number of channels is 1. Padding will be same. And activation we are going to use the ReLU. Then input shape is 28 by 28 by 1. Now it is clear to you. Now we can define the other layers. Next layer was the max pooling layer. So we can write here Keras. So you will see it's very simple to define the layers. Dot layers dot max pooling. Now max pooling 2D. We have to use max pooling 2D because our data is in 2D form. So max pooling 2D. So now we have defined the max pooling operation. So once we have defined the max pooling, the next layer is again convolution 2D. So we will write next layer was Keras dot layers dot conv 2D. So conv 2D. Then within this, what we have to define? The first is number of filters. Number of filters are 32. Then the size of the filter is, we are also using the 3 by 3. Then padding, we can use the padding we are taking same, in just we have defined in our architecture. Then we have to use the activation function. So activation we are using ReLU. Okay. So this is the next layer is completed. Now we have to define next layer. Next layer was the again max pooling layer. So we will write Keras dot layers dot max pooling max pooling 2D. So this is the layer of max pooling layer. Then next we have to define the next layer. Next layer is we have to define this max pooling layer. Then we have to use next layer. Next layer we are going to use again convolution 2D. So we will use Keras dot, this is, it's a case sensitive language, so we have to use capital D over here. So 2D, sorry, Keras dot layers dot 2D. So we can use layers dot convolution 2D. Okay. Then we have to define the parameters. Now first parameter, number of filters. Number of filters we are using 64, which we have defined earlier. Then we are going to use 3 filter size. Then we are using the padding, same padding. same. Okay, so here you will see the size is maintained throughout the whole architecture which we are going to use. Then we can use activation. Activation is RELU. Okay, so this is the one of the layer. Next layer was again the max pooling layer which we are going to use. So we will use Keras, then layers, and then max pooling 2D. And then after this, now we have included three convolution layers and correspondingly three max pooling layers. Next we have to add the flattened layer that will convert the 2D or the volume into a one dimensional structure. So we will use Keras dot layers dot flatten. So we are going to use this flatten, and once we have done this, now next was the fully connected layer. So now we have fully connected layer is known as the dense layer. We all know. So we can use here Keras dot. Then we can use layers dot. We can use dense layer, and how many features we are using? 128. 128 features we are using. Activation we can use. Activation as RELU. This is the activation. Okay, so this is all about the dense layer. Now finally we have reached to our output layer. So now what is the output layer? Keras dot layers dot. It is also a dense layer basically. So we can write dense layer. Then we have to define the number of classes. So number of classes are here 10. So we can write here 10 over here. So now we have defined the model. I think some. So we have just dense there. We have defined this model now. Okay. So here, then we have to check the summary. So we can check the summary. So let's try to run this model. There is some error. So it is saying TensorFlow Keras layers and no attributes flatten. Okay, so it is. Let's take it. Keras dot layers dot. Actually, what we have did, we have we have to use. We should sensitive towards the case. So it's a capital pattern. Okay. So now we just execute it again. Yes, now we have defined the model. So you will see here the first model is convolution 2D with 3 by 3 filter, and sorry, convolution. It is given a number convolution 2D. So the size 20 output shape will be 28 by 28 because we have used the same padding. Same padding means the output shape will be 28 by 28, and number of filters will be 16 because we are using 16 filters. Then we have used max pooling. So max pooling just reduce the height and width. So height and width will be 16 by 16 now. Number of channels does not affect 16. You will see here no parameter learning is done during the max pooling operation. Then we have to perform next convolution operation. The output of this next convolution will be the same because we have used the same padding. So output will be 14 by 14 and number of filters will be 32 because we have used here 32. So these are the number of training parameters. Then we are using max pooling, so it will reduce the size 7 by 7. Channels are not reduced 32. Then we use next convolution. The output size will be the same padding we are using. The output size will be same, but we are using the number of filters as 64 over here, 64 over here. So 64 will be the volume. Then we have performed the flatten just convert these value into a one dimensional. 576 you will see here only single value is there. Then we have mapped it with the first fully connected layer to 128. These are the number of parameters. And then finally, we are getting the output layer. Output layer contains only 10 classes. That's why we have written here 10. So this is the, so these are the total number of parameters. These are total number of parameters which we are going to use. So this is the model summary which we have defined. And once we have defined the model, now what we have to do? We have to build the model. So now the rest steps are same which we have done earlier. So build the model. So next, how we are going to build the model? We will write model dot compile. Then we have to define the optimizer. The optimizer we are taking Adam, and then we have to take and we are taking loss function as df dot keras dot losses, and dot here we will find different types of loss functions. We are using sparse categorical cross entropy just like in previous session. And then we have to set the logistics. So from underscore logistic, just make it true because it gives more true values, numerical. It gives support more precision. And then we can use one more matrix to display. We use a matrix. We can set accuracy, so it will give us the accuracy information. So now this is all about the building of the model. And once we can build the model, let's try to execute this. So now model is built. Now next, after more building the model, now we have to train the model. Now we are all set. Now once we are all set, now we have to train the model. And how we are going to train the model, you all know, we use a fit. So model.fit, and here what you have to pass, you have to pass the training as training samples. So we have train images, we have to pass train labels. Then we have to write the number of epochs. The other parameters are also there. You can set those parameters according to your requirements. So we have just set only 50 epochs. These epochs are very low for a good performance, but still we are just taking the 10 epochs. So now let's train the model. Let's see what happens. So you will see here. Now we have started the learning. So first epoch, it is running first epoch, and you can see the time it is taking. So definitely we have used a number of layers. It will take time to execute. And so what should we do? We can just let it execute the first epoch. So it is taking 41 seconds. So it is too time consuming. So what we do, we just stop over here and just take only 5 epochs. So it will be, so just we are going to check how our model is going to train. So this way in 5 epochs we are going to train this. But when you will see here, only this is a very small model, and there are very few parameters. We have used very small images there, but still it is taking time. And when the image size is very large, your network is very deep and having number of neurons, you have to train millions of parameters, so you can assume how much time it will take. So that's why you require high performance devices. You have to perform some operation parallel, so that may give you some fast processing. So let's wait for these 5 epochs. Then we will jump for the evaluation. We will check the evaluation process then.
Hello.
Yes.
Screen visual topic.
Is there any query? This is the fourth epoch. And one more epoch is there. So now we have reached the accuracy to 99%. You know what you have to do if you want to perform your own operation on your own data. You have to upload the data on your Google Drive, and then you can access the data set. You just set the path and you can access the data set. You can just make the training set separately, training labels separately, testing set and testing labels, then access all those parameters. After just accessing those parameters, what you have to do, same, you have to know the now the you just check the shape, just check the data set information. If it is according to your requirement, then it's good. If it is not, then you have to reshape the data set, and then you have to perform the pre-processing if required. Then you have to define your model. The defining of model is not a big issue. Then you can build. These are the simple statements, and then you can train a model. So these are the number of steps which you can perform. And many times what happens, we have a very small data set, so we can increase our data set because deep neural network requires a large data set. And how we can increase the data set? For that, we use the augmentation techniques, where we can use the different transformation functions, just like rotation, scaling, and so on. So we can use those translations functions to increase our data set. And now this training is completed. Now finally, you will see a 99% approximately we are getting the accuracy. Now finally we have to evaluate. So you all know how to evaluate accuracy. Now we can evaluate the accuracy, and for evaluation we have to calculate the test underscore loss, and we have to write test underscore accuracy. Then we can take model dot evaluate, and then here we have to pass the testing data set. So test underscore images comma test underscore labels. This only we have to do. Then we can print the accuracy. If you want to print the print, we can write accuracy is equals to, then we can use this dot format, and then we can write test underscore accuracy. So this is all set. Now you have to just execute this statement. So now it is testing is completed in only 2 seconds. So you can see the how fast it is. Once the weights are fixed during the training process, once the weights are fixed, it takes very few moments to execute the testing samples. So testing samples were 10,000 testing samples were there, and we are getting 98% accuracy in the testing data set. Testing data set means those data set which has we have already not seen during the training. So still we are getting a good 98% accuracy. So this is all about the convolution neural network. During these different sessions, I have just covered the theoretical aspects, the different you can say different difficulties, challenges, different architectures. So, so I have just discussed all these things, and I think I have just also shown some practical aspects of this CNN. So now the you can ask the queries. So then I will wind up my whole session. This is was my last lecture. So sir, please.
Students, participants, if you have any queries, please ask.
Yes, definitely. If you increase the number of epochs, definitely it will increase it will update the more weights, and it will go close to it will reduce the loss, because in epochs, what we are doing, we are just reducing the error rate. We are reducing the loss function. So definitely it will increase the accuracy, but definitely it will also will take lots of time to train. It is up to you. It is up to you how many dense or convolution layer you are going to use. Okay, you have to define the model. Now you have to make the balance. Actually, you can use any number of convolutions. Just you have seen in ResNet, we have used 152 layers. Okay, so it doesn't matter, but thing is, as you increase the more number of layers, more complexity will be there. So you have to balance between these two. There's no validation accuracy and accuracy. There are two things. In validation accuracy means we divide the training data set into validation data set and training data set. And simultaneously, I have discussed about the early stopping. In early stopping, what we did, we just check both the things, training accuracy and as well as validation accuracy. And if increasing, initially both increases, and after some time, validation accuracy start decaying. So we can stop over there. So that is being used to validate my model during the training process. Okay, and after that I can get the testing accuracy. Definitely you will get the ppts and code, no problem for that. So, yeah, definitely I will give you these things. Any more query? Okay sir, thank you very much.
Thank you
So
so much, sir. Thank you. For
it's a new and good experience.
Yes,
Basically.
sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay sir, thank you.